This is Unity, Joy of Life. I'm Nancy Norman, and this is your weekly wisdom. I have a wonderful book that I want to recommend to you. It was written by a special person, a very special person, as a matter of fact, my daughter, Kathy Jean Norman. The book's name is Sermon from on the Molehill. You know, you've heard about Sermon on the Mount. Well, this is Sermon on the Molehill because oftentimes it is said that we make mountains out of molehills. The subtitle is Spiritual Keys to Amazing Health, Wealth, and Prosperity. And this book is filled with tips on living a success-filled life. Kathy is a fabulous storyteller, and she has wonderful insight into spiritual truth. So you'll find that this book is filled with experiences, both hers and others, filled with experiences and that will help you, on this path that we call life. It's also filled with wonderful stories, and today I'd like to share one of those stories with you from a chapter. I'm just going to share a part of this chapter with you called You Can't, But God Can. It starts with a quote from Lily Tomlin. Lily Tomlin said, "When we speak to God, we are said to be praying. But when God speaks to us, we are said to be schizophrenic." And Kathy goes on to say, a clever, funny quote, no doubt, but it hides a profound truth, that there is a difference between being delusional and being spiritual. We're delusional when we listen to what the Buddhists call the monkey mind, the voices that judge and criticize ourselves or others negatively, the voices that guide us away from divine assistance, voices that create fear and separation. They are the voices that tell you that you're in control, not God. Yet often we give our power and attention to those voices, especially when we have a problem in our lives. However, we can always go to God, even with all those other voices pestering us, and we can ask for help. The moment that we align with God, the moment that we ask for His help, the moment that we surrender, in that moment, we realize that divine assistance is available right here, right now. When we can just let go of our frustrations, of our concerns and our worries, then divine assistance comes rushing in. When we allow divine assistance in, we see that there is another way. When we hear the voice of God, we know that what we are doing is the right thing, and we always have clarity. She goes on to tell a story about human beings. When human beings were about ready to be created, there is an ancient Hindu myth that talks about that time. It says that a committee of gods got together to decide where the secret of life should be placed. The secret of life contained all of the divine assistance one could possibly imagine. All of the gods agreed that the secret should be hidden somewhere clever. But the gods had a hard time on agreeing where it should be hidden, so as to make it most challenging for people to locate the treasure. "Let us hide the secret of life on the top of the highest mountain," said one god. "No, no, no, no," said another. "People will invent airplanes and helicopters and climbing equipment. No, that will never work. They'll find it. They'll find it." And then another god spoke up and said, "Well, how about at the bottom of the sea? They'll never find it there." Then another god answered, "How about the bottom of the sea? It's the same thing. They will invent submarines and diving equipment and it will be the end of the game. No, that's not going to work. Well, the gods sat around wondering where in the world they were going to hide the secret of life. The secret of life. And they were stumped. And then one God said, I know exactly where we can hide that secret of God. Let's hide it within each person. And they'll never think about looking there. And so it turned out that when we look for divine guidance, we tend to look outside ourselves for answers. We listen to all the other voices, and the last place we look is to the God within. Meanwhile, all that we ever need to know abides right there at the core of our being. When we let go and allow God to have his say, Spirit has a chance to deliver its message when we need it the most. Turn within. The answers are always there. God bless you, and don't forget Amazon Sermon on the Moil. God bless you and have a fabulous week.